Did you happen to go to the same doctor that you've been going to, or anybody that saw you kind of before and after?
Yeah, I go to my basic family doctor. He's like, "You were at like 425 pounds." He's like, "You're down to like 315." And he's looking at my blood work. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm eating meat." And he's like, "Really? That's it?"
So you're down like 160, 170 pounds. That's incredible.
I actually went to a doctor a few years back and he looked at me and he's like, "Do you work?" I said, "Well, absolutely, doc. If I don't, who's paying my bills?" He was mind blown that somebody my size was still working. And I think that's a lot of the problems with the health system in the US now is if you're overweight, you shouldn't be working or you can't do this. So they want to throw the prescriptions at you. They want those GLP-1 medications to get you to a healthy weight instead of actually fixing the problem.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I would say I had some mobility issues like, leg pain, feet pain. I definitely wasn't climbing a ladder or running a marathon, but I've been a server and bartender for the past 21 years. And I think that's actually been somewhat a beneficial thing for me because I've always been moving.
Right.
I think had I not, then I would have had problems. So my brother, he had a lot of weight issues. He was probably close to 700 pounds at his heaviest. And he had extremely bad knees, a lot of pain, could barely walk. 3 or 4 steps was too much for him.
You mentioned the GLP-1s. Is that something that you'd ever considered?
So I'm kind of a firm believer that there is no miracle drug. And for everything you take, there's going to be something bad. And didn't do a lot of research into the GLP ones, but I have seen some videos of like some of the things it contains. And there's so much that you just, if you're not on it, it all comes back.
Yeah.
And the side effects, these don't out the risks don't outweigh the benefits to me. I would rather have the healthy lifestyle change than the magic shot or pill that fixes it for 6 months until it doesn't fix it anymore.
I share your opinion on that 100%. And I don't understand why more people don't, especially with the weight loss drugs. I was making this argument to someone the other day. I just said, in the history of mankind, there's never been a weight loss drug that has worked successfully and not had long-term detrimental, if not life-threatening side effects. Every single one of them has. If they didn't, if they worked, why would we even be talking about GLP-1s? We wouldn't, because we would have something else that would have worked. And some of them, it's like 20 years later. My aunt and uncle back in the day they were on fen-phen, and that was the big miracle weight loss drug at the time.
Yep.
Until it got, yeah, until it
The
got banned.
appetite suppressant, and oh yeah.
And people with that one, it was 20 years later, they were seeing heart defects and issues with their heart valves 20 years later. So I'm with you on that one 100%. I don't think there's any shortcut. If this GLP-1 thing, if it actually worked, it'd be the first time in the history of mankind. It should be like front page news. Like, we finally figured out how to outsmart Mother Nature and take a shortcut. It's never been done before.
No, and a lot of the problem is too, there's so many of the celebrities and higher ups that are taking it to where they're pushing it as a miracle. So even more people are starting to try to take it. And I
Right.
do know that there can be some benefits for like people with diabetes and things like that. But I also believe that just a proper diet change is going to have the same effect. But there's so much money in the pharmaceuticals that of course they're going to push it. They're going to get the kickbacks and they're going to try to, if we're not sick, they're not making money.
I did a video a while back on Oprah because Oprah did a big special pushing these GLP-1s. And my whole thing was, it's like, if you want to do the GLP-1, Oprah, great, do it. But why go out there and tell, she has such big influence that millions of people are going to do it because Oprah said it's okay to do it. That's just so wrong in my opinion, especially when you don't know the long-term side effects of something like that. I'm not telling anybody what to do. If they want to do it, it's your body, do whatever you want. But I think a lot of people are misled by these celebrities and people they look up to think, oh, it's safe for them, I'm going to do it too.
I think I'll just eat a big ribeye. I think that's better off.
Right. It's amazing when you just get out of the way and put the proper fuel in the tank, what'll heal. Did you notice any other changes in your life? Like, a big one that I hear a lot of people talk about is their cognitive ability or brain fog going away. My name is Carrie. I'm filming a documentary called Healing Humanity. And if you want to see more stories like the story you're watching right now, Please help us out. Our project is entirely crowdfunded. I've been working on it for 2 years now. We want to get more stories like this from all around the world. Please donate at donate.healinghumanity.movie. Every penny goes towards the documentary. I've been working on this for 2 years now. I haven't taken a single paycheck, and I never will. Our goal is to reach millions of people who are hopeless in the world. We're doing a documentary, we're doing a series. If you want to support us, please donate or join our membership site so we can support you. $15 for your first month, special offer in the description below. Sign up for our newsletter, buy our merchandise, our Healing Humanity shirts, and all of those proceeds go 100% towards our documentary. Thank you so much. Now back to today's video.
My sleep improvement definitely has. And my wife has even noticed now if I go to sleep, when I'm out, I'm out. There isn't a like, hey, I need you to wake up to do this. It's a physically has to shake me to get me awake. And it's just, I feel rested. I work 2 jobs currently. My first one, I start at 5 a.m. I just wake up and go, and it's just, I don't have any lack of energy. And it's amazing.
Wow, that's incredible. You mentioned your wife. Was she nervous when you said, "Hey, I'm just going to eat meat"?
So my wife has suffered from high cholesterol her whole life. And it's funny because she's 160 pounds, 170 pounds, 5'11, tall, fairly slender build. And she's had like the pancreatic issues. She's had high cholesterol. She suffered from like OCD, anxiety, and all those things her whole life. And every doctor has just pushed medications.
Hmm.
So she was a little leery. So of course I did like the pre-carnivore blood work because I kind of want to see where I was at, what my levels are. And then I went back in 6 months and everything improved. And then I went back at the year and everything improved. And all of a sudden, she was very much on board with it.
Brian, you mentioned getting some lab work done and that it was looking good. Did you happen to go to the same doctor that you've been going to, or anybody that saw you kind of before and after?
Yeah, I go to my basic family doctor. And when I went in for my pre carnivore blood work, so, they just ordered the labs and I went in and he looked at my weight when I came back and looked at what it was when I was there. And he's like, and looked at what it was when I was there. And he's like, you were at like 425 pounds. He's like, you're down to like 315. And he's looking at my blood work. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm eating meat. And he's like, really? That's it? So when I went back for my year, he's like, you know what? He's like, I had another gentleman come in doing the same thing as you. Asthma gone, eczema gone. Just from he did it for 6 months was what his run was. He's like, this is just amazing. He's like, most doctors would tell you, no, don't eat red meat. It's so bad for you. He's like, but you're living proof that it's helping you, not hurting you.
Ah, good doctor.
Yeah, my doctor's a good dude. He is the I will do what I can to help you. He's like, if you want to try something, I will guide you, but I'm not going to tell you not to. He's like, especially if it's working.
That's so good. It's a good thing too that you told him. We interviewed Dr. Barry recently, and that was his big advice. He's like, talk to your doctors, tell them, even if they don't want to listen. The more times they get this message over and over again, they're going to have to start listening or seeing the evidence at some point. But that's really cool that your doctor was on board.
Yeah, his big advice was just because the high protein is drink plenty of water. He's like,
Right.
get as close to a gallon or more as you can. He's like, just because your kidneys will need help processing it.
Brian, has your perspective sort of on the world changed now that you found this healing?
It's terrifying to think that our government allows so many of the things in the foods that they do. Even if you look at like the European governments, Mountain Dew, you're not finding Mountain Dew. You're not finding all those super sugary ridden beverages that have red dye, yellow dye. And it's amazing because you see, even people I work with that are sick on a regular basis, that are having all these issues. But then you look at what they're eating. They're eating your ramen noodles. They're eating your Cheetos. They're eating all these things that are just full of poison.
It's criminal. The thing that gets me is marketing this stuff too to children and the next generation eating this way. I I just think about it like, man, I was so sick for so long. You were so sick for so long, but then you look at this next generation, they have access to even worse food than when I was younger.
Oh, absolutely. The amount of stuff that they have and everything, like you said, it's all pushed to kids. Those juice boxes, they make them accessible for like little kids. You know, even like your apple sauces and stuff like that. If you look, a lot of them have high fructose corn syrup. You know, you have your Lunchables, like your toaster strudels, all these Pop Tarts. It's just all junk. My mom worked for the school systems in our town for a long time, and they used to have like bacon, eggs, you know, like meat type meals for breakfast that she could serve the kids. Well, then the government regulations changed where you couldn't serve the eggs or bacon because of the sodium content, but a kid can have two Rice Krispie treats for breakfast because of the grain intake.
You get a person hooked on a drug from a young age and you have a lifelong consumer.
Yep, absolutely.